We are watching shares of wireless carriers for the year. AT&T trailing its competitors, down 10%. But our next guest sees a turnaround for shares in 2024. BofA's David Barden named AT&T his top large-cap telecom pick for next year, and he joins us now. Whole sector hasn't really been in demand this year, especially AT&T. David, what do you think changes next year?
Well, thanks, Sarah. First, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me back. Look, the wireless industry had three big challenges in 2023. Number one was that the market was worried about what the post-pandemic competitive climate would look like. I think number two was that there were rumors that Amazon might be jumping into the industry, which turned out not to be true. And I think number three was that the Wall Street Journal article that came out around mid-year talked about some risks that could exist around lead sheet cables, which so ultimately the Environmental Protection Agency seems to have kind of dismissed. So we think we're really better set up into 2024.
David, Bob Pisani here. One of the things, AT&T, a widow and orphan stock, as it used to be called 30 years ago, for that dividend, still there, 6.7%. That is in the top 20 for the S&P 500 in terms of the highest dividend levels. There are people who still own it, and I know it's generally lowest level since 1993, and it's down 10% this year. But when you got an almost 7% dividend yield, that tends to mitigate some of that downside on the price. How safe is that dividend? Do you think any changes will come in 2024?
Thanks, Bob. Look, the dividend is safe. AT&T is our top pick for really three big reasons. Number one, it's been a great fundamental performer for the last 2 years. They've met or beaten all the fundamental expectations in the wireless industry, in the consumer fiber industry, and we think that's going to continue in 2024. The second big reason is valuation. AT&T is trading a multiple point or two multiple points below all their telecom peers. And the third is positioning, and this is super interesting. Of the 90 stocks in the S&P 500 that are over $100 billion in market cap, AT&T is number 90 in terms of ownership. It's the least owned mega cap stock in the market.
Yeah, 6.8 PE. I mean, people don't realize how low these PE ratios have gotten on these telecom stocks. Just on the lead cable story, do you have anything you can add to that? It seems to have sort of gone away at this point. Is this not an issue that investors need to worry about?
I mean, we think it's kind of a non-issue. We've looked at the history. There's not a lot of precedent for there to be a lot of liability here. The industry is still working on things like lead water pipes. And so the EPA has come out and really kind of validated the company positions, but there's not a lot of public safety risk.